only like 60 seconds. I'm going to blow that out of the water. 60 seconds. So let's see. All right, let me exit out of my Twitch stream then. So hold on. It's coming. It's almost there.
That's what she said.
Ha ha! I set you up for that one. I meant to do that. Dude, why is it connecting stream? Oh, man, this is taking a second.
I might be set up before you will get all
You might.
finished.
Like, I loaded it. Is it stream? It says it's streaming. Let me refresh it. Nev. There you are.
Okay, yeah, there we go. It says, there you are, I see you. So we're good there.
You see me where?
Oh, yeah, so it's working. I just hear myself just now. Yeah, we're live on your channel, and we're about to go live on Tep C. Yes.
I see, that's weird. Hello there, Nev. Hello there, others. I see my good buddy Run DMV. Oh, balls. What just happened? Excellent connection. Oh, breaking it.
Oh, great. And my OBS is crashing.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. It wouldn't be a Going Nerdy live stream.
It wouldn't be a stream with you.
Seriously. It wouldn't. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there I am. There we are. I am very excited to welcome you to our first ever Kicking It with Kenobi.
We're gonna see if Tep C will stay online or we're gonna crash.
So we are in one of two places, ladies and gentlemen. We are over on my channel here on YouTube, obviously, and we are also over on the Escape Pod Cast channel soon. Eventually, maybe. We're working on it. Let me delete this.
Never mind the man behind the curtains, right?
Yes,
guys?
exactly. So I'm pretty. I'm just gonna say I'm excited for this, guys. My mission, as Nev points out, is to get him to want to watch the show. Nev in chat obviously is crotchety old man. I feel like is a fair analysis of his character. Am I wrong?
Right,
I feel like I'm not.
And we are now live on Tep C.
Now we are
on Twitch side.
Awesome. So we are live on Tep C over on Twitch and right here on my channel. As always, I am joined by my good friend Paul from the Escape Pod Cast, and new to one of our talking shows is Sephiroth. Welcome, Sephiroth.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I knew that after the last run with the Book of Boba Fett that I wanted to be part of the action. So here I am.
Well, if you want action, you are in for it, sir.
You've come to the right place.
Indeed.
I think.
I think so. We're pretty action packed. I'm stoked. Right now, what we're going to be doing for those of you who are new to the situation, who are new to this, which is anyone who's probably watching this after the fact, to be honest, anyone who's watching this live knows how this is going to be going. We are going to do a live stream the night before the next episode.
Oh,
right.
Okay, so hold on. Our audio is not.
Are we not syncing up?
No, my audio is not going out.
I was like, because that's usually something I've done, but not today. I feel like I fixed it. So what we'll do is, like, because tomorrow is episode 3, we're talking about episodes 1 and 2 tonight, so that we're going in tomorrow kind of with like fresh eyes. You know, we've broken it down a little bit. We've discussed what's going to be happening, and that way it's
There we go.
We're just
now
gonna
we're
run
live,
with it.
ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Thaddeus is here, so of course something has to go wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the Escape Podcast side to Kicking It with Kenobi, the weekly show that Thaddeus and I like to do. We try to include Nev, but Nev wants nothing to do with Kenobi until it finishes. So in Nev's place, I have brought to you Sephiranus, our good friend. Seph, why did you join us?
I'm actually a huge fan of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and when I heard that him and Hayden were reprising roles, I was hooked.
All right.
I love this era of Star Wars. I think the Empire Ascendant era needs more stories, especially because there's a lot of focus in filling out other sections. Versus, I mean, we get Rogue One and we get Solo, but there's a lot to be done in this gap of time. And we can really flesh out the Inquisitors and what it's like to live in early mid-Empire.
The Inquisitorious faction.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this because this is the first live action version of this era, right? Even Rebels didn't. It was a later time period. It was towards the end
after this, yes.
And so this is definitely new, right? Bad Batch is kind of bridging the gap between Clone Wars and Empire era. But we haven't seen a live action version, and so this is a very new phenomena even. So I'm very stoked for this. So hold on to your seats. So should we begin? Should we just run with it?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So
you have the synopsis. I've seen it 1.5 times.
Okay.
The first episode and the second episode only once. So you're gonna have to drive us, and I'll react.
Okay. So I've seen it twice. It was rushed a little bit of both times, to be completely honest. I watched it opening, like you get 4 minutes right off the bat of 4 minutes ish of like where we are in the story as far as canon goes. We know that the Republic has fallen. We get these back and forth, and we get this fight between Obi-Wan and Vader on Mustafar, and I hate you. Right, great moment.
Yeah, we got the full recap.
We get the full recap
of the entire prequel.
Yeah, which was fascinating. Now, I gotta say, opening, I was not expecting to see Order 66 take place at the Jedi Temple. I have been avoiding spoilers. I've been avoiding, rumors and such for this. This was one of them. This was a spot-on leak that had been discussed.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. Opening scene was Temple of Coruscant, Jedi Temple on Coruscant. And it starts off with younglings in a training room, doing their thing, right? There's actually, I'm very curious about this because we later find out that we know that the Inquisitorious, all members that we know of, are former Jedi.
Yes.
Right?
That I mean, that's in and of itself true.
Yeah.
Any Force user is a Jedi until they turn to the dark side, and in this case, become Inquisitors.
Exactly. Now, what's interesting though is this opening scene as it pans into the temple before the whole fighting starts, before Order 66 is unleashed, or it's really as it's going on. It spans into this youngling room, and the first youngling we see is a young black Jedi, right? And it looks like she's a female Jedi, and we know that this is 10 years prior. So this could very well be our first introduction to Riva.
Yeah, she looked about 8 years old, so you know Riva looks about 18.
Yeah. Let's see.
And it would track too because of what we kind of hear a little bit later about her relationship with Lord Vader.
Mm-hmm.
especially thinking about and pulling a little bit out of the comics, is when the Grand Inquisitor joined. I have having been involved with Order 66 himself, being a Jedi Temple Guard,
Yeah.
I think you have that initial recruitment drive, and that she's actually one of the older Inquisitors in terms of first recruits, but just being a hothead
of recruiting time. Yes.
Yeah. And what's interesting is I'm looking at this this young lady. It's Ayami Sledge is her name. There's not, which is an awesome name. Sledge as a last name. That's dope. But it doesn't say her age. But she is the one that plays as, and it calls her Jedi Youngling. This is interesting. Now, what's cool about this is it starts off and they're doing their meditations, they're going through the movement and whatnot, and that's when the clones come in, and it is.
They weren't in the room that Anakin was, and young Snoke was like, Master Jedi, what we gotta do?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a different group of younglings training. But what's interesting is as they're going through, I gotta say, I loved this montage. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a lot of fun. The thing that bothers me about,
just remember, even Rocky had a montage.
Yeah, that's true. I did love this, right? It was awesome. But the thing that bothers me is after this Jedi, and it looks like her name is Velty. I'm looking at the closed captioning. It says Velty grunts. So unless that's like a specific type of grunt, Velty is the name of the Jedi, right?
Correct. I noticed that too. Of course,
Yeah.
slightly hearing impaired.
Yeah.
I watch with subtitles.
But as awesome as this fight scene is, what I saw was a lot of Jedi not working together. I mean, and that bugged me because the clones separated them and were.
Well, yeah. Do you think that the Jedi in their own temple would have expected the Inquisition?
No, of course not.
The Empire Inquisition. Nobody expects the Empire Inquisition.
No,
but the other thing too is we're also talking about the circumstances that lead into this in Revenge of the Sith. Jedi recruitment is at an all-time low due to morale. You're also talking about how you've had several dozen, if not hundreds, of members of the Jedi Order either scattered across the galaxy or, quite frankly, killed.
Yeah.
Nearly a fifth of the Order, if I'm mistaken, you can correct me, died at Geonosis in the pit. Yeah. I mean, you're talking folks where you're investing 40 years worth of training.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're mostly going to have mostly low defense folks, barely able to defend themselves. So, and the fact of the matter is they sent the entire 501st at them.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
Didn't stand a chance. They were outnumbered from the start. It actually gave me a little bit of Jedi Fallen Order vibes.
We got in the chat, Jedi think that they can handle stuff on their own. That I mean, that's very, very true.
Yeah.
A Jedi arrogance point.
That's true. And that's the thing is leading up to the Clone Wars, the Jedi were at the height of their arrogance. I've said this for years, ever since the High Republic came out, and I know that I'm going to lose like half my viewers as I bring up the High Republic, but like one of the things that the High Republic focuses on is it's the Jedi are like these arrogant men and women and people, and it's like nobody wants to see the Jedi be like that, but that's kind of what they are. Now, Will Sample over on my chat asks, he's like, to be fair, at this stage of the Clone Wars, how many seasoned Jedi are actually hanging out at the temple? And the answer is not many. They're out in the field fighting. Grogu, but at this point, he's like 15, right? 10 maybe?
Oh, come on. He's got to be 20 by then.
Yeah, but like he's probably drinking and like partying and,
Well, they had a few masters at the temple, but Sidious took 4 of them, and Anakin handed the other.
That's true. He didn't kill him, but
he threw him out a window.
Threw him out a window.
Yeah, he was disarmed of a sort. Right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
He
is
sure left empty-handed.
Yes. One of the things that Brotherhood, which is a great book that you can find on Audible, in the links in the section below.
And you are compensated
and
for
I am
sign-ups
compensated
to that
for
service.
signs up for the service. But one of the things that it talks about is how during the initial push to get the Jedi to become generals, is that they are specifically taking on younglings and Padawans into battle. Like, that's a big thing, because what it means is if they're being taken into battle, they're not being trained in the ways of the Force. And it's more likely, obviously, that they'll die or be harmed or in any number of other scenarios, but they're not there at the temple. And so at this point, there are a lot of Jedi kind of all over the galaxy that, they're dispersed, right? So it makes sense that this isn't a huge, there's not a lot of people there, but it's sad. It is sad. It's a tragic opening scene, but what's awesome is I think it sets the tone for the rest of the show, right? The Jedi are gone, right? Many of them died here at the temple, and if they didn't die here at the temple, they have died somewhere else. Yeah. It was a push. So Will Sample also points out it was a push through legislation in the Senate, backed by Palpatine, to help the Jedi. But really, Palpatine was just getting them weaker.
Right.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and like you said with the opening scene, it creates that overarching theme of fear and doubt. Yeah. It weighs heavy in every scene in both episodes, where you can really feel the weight of Kenobi's failures.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's visceral at times, where he has to make decisions that are just so tough for him.
Absolutely. Now, what's interesting though is it jumps. It leaves this. I mean, it zooms out, it pans out, but then
after Order 66 is depicted.
Yeah. It pans out, and then it's 10 years later. Now, it shows the dust, the dirt, the nastiness, and in comes the Inquisitors, right?
Thank you, Run DMV, for the for the goat scream.
The goat scream.
He donated $5 to you.
Oh! I hadn't heard it. I'm sure it's coming.
It just says goat scream in his donation.
Goat scream. Oh, okay, got you. But ultimately, what's interesting here is it jumps forward 10 years. Now, if we know canon, we know the Inquisitors have been going and doing their thing. They've been taking out Jedi after Jedi after Jedi, and it's down to the dregs, right? And we have them show up on Tatooine, and there's this bar scene, right? Where we're introduced to the Inquisitors, third sister, fifth brother, and the Grand Inquisitor, and random Jedi survivor number 1.
Yes.
Did
they even give him a name at all?
They did. He is, let me look him up. He's Nari.
Nari, okay.
Nari. Now
Is Nari going to be around much longer?
And he wasn't. Joe, also thank you for that. I don't know why the goat scream didn't go off. Well, that's sad.
You don't have it set up on this on this version of OBS.
I think I do, but now
it's okay.
Now I feel bad.
You'll fix that for next week.
Yes, I will. Anyways, so we've got this moment where Nari goes. The Grand Inquisitor's doing his thing, and we see the first time that Riva is, what's the word I'm looking for? Obstinate, angry, in your face.
How she deals with things.
Embracing her inner chaotic evil.
Yeah, exactly. She's definitely chaotic evil. As we know so far. Maybe there's more to it. I don't know.
Oh, for sure, there's foreshadow. We just don't know what it is
absolutely. Yet. What did you think about our first introduction to live-action Inquisitors, though?
I liked it.
Did you?
I had no problem with it because everything. Remember the whole. This is what Dooku looks like. Really, this is what Dooku looks like in Clone Wars. You're never gonna get it perfect. Cad Bane, again, you're never gonna get it perfect to animation style. How many Japanese animes have eyes this wide? Okay, you're never gonna get it to a still that's not working, Thad.
I'm trying.
Your eyes are not. Yeah, I know you're trying, but there is animation and there's live action. They're never going to be perfect. I thought Fifth Brother was pretty damn close.
I thought the Fifth Brother did a good job. I will say one of the things that kind of bugged me, with, and it's super nitpicky. Like, it is so nitpicky that it's like, girl, I'm kind of mad at myself for it. But like, as I watched it the first time, I felt like the Inquisitors were all whispering, except for Riva, who was always screaming.
I didn't notice that.
I don't know. Like, I might have had it just turned down or something. It kind of, there was like a graveliness to their voices, and I just felt...
the Grand Inquisitor and the other two, the brother and sister that were there, they were more controlled and subdued. And Riva just spoke forcefully. I don't think she was screaming.
No, screaming's hyperbole for sure. It was.
Yeah, you totally hyperboled.
Yeah, I hyperboled. I did. But forceful's a good word for it, right? She is agitated.
She's the bad cop to the good cop of Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, that's very true.
Good. She is.
Good analogy there, Seth.
She is.
The big thing that bothered me is actually Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
He's not. And here's the thing: is we have a live action comparison because Kenobi visits Utapau in Episode 3, and he looks nothing like the race that he's supposed to be in this series.
Yeah.
And even the new Fallen Order
Survivor
trailer.
Yeah.
He looks more realistic in that.
Yeah.
And that bothers me in that it kind of, the first time I watched it, it really kind of threw me out of it a little bit. That, and I would have paid money for this series beyond just a Disney Plus subscription, Disney, if you had just dubbed Jason Isaac's menacing voice over this person.
Oh, seriously.
And not to say that Rupert Friend is not doing a good job. He's doing a great job. But give me the menacingness of Jason Isaacs any day.
But they have to use Jason Isaacs when he plays Thrawn. They can't have the same voice.
That's...
Well...
I don't know. Thrawn's coming is the short answer.
He is inevitable.
He is inevitable. So the Inquisitor is bothersome to me, and we'll talk about more of that here later on towards the end. But he wasn't as menacing as I would have liked him to be. That's my real concern. I love his dialogue. I love his I love his monologue in that tavern where he's just like, here's the thing. I'm going to lay it out for you. We know that a Jedi's been here. Clearly over here, there's, lightsaber marks. But he wasn't that menacing, right? Now, at the same time, he wants to be menacing enough. But these are people in the new Empire. He wants them to be loyal, and he wants them to be loyal enough to turn in a Jedi. That makes kind of sense, right? To where he doesn't want to be so scary they can't approach him with information, while at the same time terrifying enough to, get what they need from him. So it's a hard thing, a hard line to walk, I guess.
It's a hard knock life.
It is a hard knock life, especially on Tatooine with those two sons. It's wearing all black. I'm sure he was just hot, right?
That's why Riva was so angry.
Yeah.
It was the sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
It gets
Yeah,
everywhere.
and rough. Don't forget that it's rough.
Yeah.
There was actually once again, tangent alert here for a moment. There was a line in a recent episode that I watched. It wasn't a recent episode of the show, but I recently rewatched Star Trek Lower Decks, and there was a joke about sand getting everywhere, and it was rough. And I was like, that is a Star Wars reference. Anyway.
Yeah. That's, hey, what's his name? R2-D2 was in Star Trek. So
there was also this is when we start to see Kenobi.
yeah.
He's working in a butcher shop, an outside butcher shop.
Yes, which is just disgusting. Like if you're afraid of sand getting, if you ever dropped meat on the ground, like I feel like that's kind of what working in the sands of Tatooine would be like. And it just, it hurts me just to see him cooking, or not cooking, but cutting up the meat there.
Yeah. And then
sad.
At the end, every single time, and we're going to address this now, every single time, he would cut off a piece, wrap it up, and stuff it, in his pocket, which I felt, is he going to get caught for that? I worried every single time I saw it.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man. I'm like, I know that you're a Jedi, or you're a former Jedi, and you're hungry, but like, I don't know, that kind of, yeah, he's making sushi on Tatooine. That's what he's doing, right? That's exactly what he's doing. I mean, because that is clearly fish, right? I mean, that's just a giant block of fish.
No, that's crate dragon.
It's crate
Well,
dragon.
no, it's crate dragon, but like the look of that meat, do you see how that's marbled? That's fish. That is crate dragon is essentially an old fish.
Crate dragons are sandfish. Got it.
They're sandfish, right? So yeah, I mean, we see the injustice of Tatooine. What's interesting is we see Kenobi's life for about a full 10 minutes, right? It shows what he's been doing, what he's up to. It shows everything, right? He's got this,
and when he goes into town, he meets Lars.
Yeah,
and he apparently is always getting Owened Lars.
Yeah.
Owen owned.
Oh my gosh. Lars is a very forceful man. Like, I love the way that he's playing this role. I think Lars, Joel Egerton did an amazing job as Lars.
Very much so. I agree.
It's very, I am this boy's father figure right now. Stay away. He's family. We don't need you, right? I mean, we saw the very much burn comment, the Mustafarian burn that Lars gave to Obi-Wan when he's like, just like you trained his father. Like that was harsh. But the rest of that conversation in context is way harsher.
The rest of the everybody around there, if they would have heard that, even the Jawas would have went, ooh, teeny.
Although speaking of Jawas, I kind of love the continuing narrative from Favreau and Filoni of Jawas are just the jerks of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get to the Jawa visit here in a moment.
Yeah. Like that. Like he goes through. Like one of the first things he does is he gets back to his cave. The Jawa shows up, and the Jawa is like stealing his stuff and selling it back to him.
Right. And Kenobi calls him out on it.
Yeah.
He's like, the next time that you steal my stuff and try to sell it back to me, at least clean it first.
And cleaning costs extra.
Right? This is, I don't see the furriness of this Jawa. It looks, I like it. I think it's really cool. But again, it shows just how well Kenobi has blended in with this that this Jawa can try to sell him what I assume is his own belt back to him.
Yeah.
Um,
and moisture condenser,
without recognizing that that's what it is. But I think one of the biggest things here in this whole montage is the fact that Obi-Wan has lost his connection to the Force. Paul, you're shaking your head.
I don't think he lost it. I don't think that he's lost it. I think that he's become out of practice with it.
I think that's
what it is. What do you think, Seth?
I think it's more of I think he's decided to be more of a hermit instead of embracing. He's not doing what Yoda did, which was embrace the living Force, make Dagobah a better place using his positive energy.
Make Dagobah great again.
Yep.
Basically, versus Kenobi is he's doing a little bit of Batman syndrome of, wallowing in darkness.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, you think about it, is he's lost all of his friends. He's lost effectively his brother and Anakin. He lost his masters. He's lost everything. And now he is a sandy cave on a sandy planet with 2 suns, chopping up crate dragon every day, just kind of surviving, hoping that the child of Anakin Skywalker isn't a dud.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is he has no exposure to him either. He's basically watching from afar, and it becomes no surprise that by the time of the events of A New Hope, he's completely lost it.
Will, we're going to talk about that here in a second. He also points out that he lost Satine as well. And that's mentioned in episode 2. But what's interesting though is, like, he has this dream, right? And it seems to me that he's having these nightmares as to his former life. And what I can only assume, and he wakes up, he's like, Master, I need you, right? It sounds like the longer that he's spent here on Tatooine, the less connected to the Force he is. And maybe it is he's disconnecting himself. Maybe he is just out of practice. One of the things that I think with this book and a few of the other ones that I've read, there is a concept of being cut off from the Force, right? Where a person can choose to, sever the Force ties. We know that Kanan kind of did it, but we know that in this book there's another character that did it, but it's happened before, right? Where people remove themselves from the Force. And Ravenlock on my channel, she says, he, I don't know, sorry, they say he's closed himself off to the Force, and that is evident as they approach in this next scene, or in one of these next scenes, and I'm kind of skipping around, where the Inquisitors actually show up. They are mere feet away from Kenobi, and they don't sense him.
That is very true. That because he does, Run DB says, season 4, episodes 16 through 20, Deception. He cuts himself off for the Force to take part of the bounty hunters when he fakes his death.
That's true. So
yeah.
What I may also point out too is this may actually be a side effect of Tatooine itself. Because think about it. It's a planet that slavery is legal. There's an immense amount of suffering between the Pike Syndicate, the Hutt Cartel, all of the scum and villainy of the galaxy, and in the wildness of the Outer Rim. It's happening here. You have the Tusken Raiders in the nomad lifestyle. But the thing that kind of draws back the most is you had Anakin Skywalker with the highest midichlorian count ever sitting in Tatooine, and you couldn't realize it until you were right on top of him.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Qui-Gon Jinn, who's, no slacker. when it
True.
comes to sensing force strength and evaluating, just latent ability. I think it has to do with the planet. Kind of like how
It
you
could-
have planets like Ilum that are naturally bright feeling.
Yeah.
That's
After. Oh, go ahead, Dad.
Well, I was gonna say that's a very good point, because one of the things that we saw in the Book of Boba Fett, and it seemed a little out of place there, was how that it once was a planet of living things, and then it was destroyed. And I believe it's an old canon, but it still is an important point to bring up. But like, it used to be one with the Force until I believe the Rakata came in and like destroyed it, and now it's like completely barren, right? And so maybe they are setting something up Force sensitive wise, where this is kind of an absence, a place where the Force is gone.
The
Or-
Bermuda Triangle of the Force.
Yes.
After
Purgatory.
this is where the fun begins. We get a shot of Alderaan.
Hold on. Before we do that, we have to mention that Kenobi does meet with this Jedi who's on the run.
Does meet with Nari, yes.
Nari.
Yeah,
and he's like, just quit.
You have the wrong person. Go away.
Yeah, just quit. Just give up, right? But then, yeah, we have this shot of Alderaan. Go ahead, Paul.
And then we find out that apparently we're seeing a young Leia, princess at the time. Debatable. But we see Leia Organa, that's for sure, being dressed, or at least we thought so.
Yeah.
Apparently Leia likes to play tricks. She's as stubborn as she was in her later years.
Throughout her life.
Throughout her life. And she's climbing trees with a robot.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Padme.
It does, doesn't it?
Wardrobe change, deception, friend to droids. I mean, it's a beautiful calling card. And I will say this, given both of these episodes, I really wish Carrie Fisher was alive.
I do too.
Because I think Carrie would love what the justice this kid is doing for her character.
Yeah,
I can totally agree.
So
I want to
Go
butt
ahead.
in there real quick. I saw, and this concerned me, and I'd like us to take a stance on this as well, that there are people that are bullying the child actress for Leia like they did Jake Lloyd for Anakin.
That's ridiculous.
Stop being a dumbass. If
Yeah.
you're watching this and you are in that group, turn
Stop.
us off and go F yourself. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
So here's the thing, right? This is an ensemble piece, right? Yes, it's a show about Kenobi. And a lot of people have had concerns like, oh, well, is Riva going to be the main character? Is this a bait and switch? So far, no, it is not a bait and switch. This is absolutely a show about Kenobi. Kenobi has had the brunt of what's gone on here. This is his show. Now, because it's an ensemble cast, we're going to get other characters. I like you guys both said, like, she has done a great job, and it's ridiculous. I've seen the same thing about Moses.
Yeah,
Ingrams.
people have been mean to Moses too. The actress for Riva. What the hell?
Like,
Yeah, seriously,
that's
y'all
ridiculous.
need to get a grip.
Like,
She's doing a great job. And honestly, would you have rather had a wooden post? Like, honestly, she brings her own energy to it. And I mean, and we have some commentary on the end of this part on Alderaan. I have a couple of jokes to crack, but it actually, her character,
He knows what to do with this show.
yeah.
She brings that character and brings some actual energy to it because it's consistent. Now, there's some things where it feels like there was a little bit of over editing, like what happens near the end of the second part.
Episode one.
No. At the end.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, the scene in the marketplace, we have to talk about that because that is actually a really cool dynamic that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But
that's episode 2. We're still on 1 right now.
The point is, Moses is turning in a great performance,
and
y'all need to get over the fact of a strong African American woman is having the time of her life and acting her ass off.
I like the thing is like if there's a problem with the script, it's a problem with the script, right? If it's a problem with directing, it's a problem with directing. Like, I love Star Wars, but Star Wars has never been television has never been known for great dialogue. Like, and this is the first instance of a character, and we have to keep in mind, Ahsoka, one of the most beloved characters when she was first introduced, was hated, right?
Oh yes.
And so, like,
snips,
right? Like we've got to give this time to marinate, to develop, and it's never the actor or actress's fault. I mean,
it's the fans' fault for being a butt.
Well, no, if you take it to a personal level, yes. What I'm saying is, like, the acting, though, if they didn't do a good job, it typically comes down to director or editing. But like, it should never get personal, ever.
But seriously, you're kind of putting a kibosh on great lines like "I hate sand" and "I love you, I know."
My mom used to tell me I love you. She's like, "I love you," and I'm like, "I know." That was long before I was even a Star Wars fan. I know. But yeah. But yeah, like, here's the thing. It's not like the writing in this is even that bad. And
no, it's not.
I've got to say, this kid played Leia perfectly. Like, I could not have imagined a better... My only gripe is, to me, she doesn't even look 10. Like, she looks a lot younger. Like, I have a 6-year-old, and I'm like, that's her. Like, that's...
Okay, but even then, they're setting up things that people complained about when it comes to the later analysis of the original movie, or episode 4, depending on what camp you're in.
Yeah.
We find out... And we're going to get to this, but of course, if we're talking about it during a Kenobi show, we know that Kenobi helps out Leia in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
So that's how she knows to help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Yeah.
And then also that Leia looks younger than Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that she looks younger now.
I think it's a lot of Filoni and Favreau pulling from the Rogue One playbook, thinking about, why does a person know to say that? Well, there has to be a story behind this, so let's pull that story together. Much like how the very first lines of that interaction between Darth Vader and Leia is so much more hilarious, knowing the fact that I'm on a diplomatic mission from Alderaan. Really? You are? I didn't just cut half your people to death. Those aren't my saber marks on your hatch.
Yeah.
Definitely not you. Nope. Diplomatic mission Alderaan.
Yep. Totally. So 2 things. Darth Gilles, he points out, like, and this is jumping back to the acting thing. He didn't like Riva's acting, and personally, I didn't necessarily care for it either. I thought she was too aggressive, too angry. And I think that underplayed a lot of what the other Inquisitors were doing. But
Dad, are you scared of an ABW?
Oh, I am terrified. I am a white man. I'm scared of everything. But like, it's episode 1 and 2. How can I say I don't like the character if I've only seen 2 episodes?
2 episodes.
I mean,
right?
I've got to give this more time. Personally, I don't think she's going to survive through the end of it. I think she'll probably die in episode 6, but that's for speculation. Will Sample says, if you've ever chased around a 10-year-old, and we'll talk about the chase scene here in a moment, without wanting to cause a public scene, this is very believable what we see here in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to that in episode 2.
Yeah, very believable. So
let's fast
2,
forward. Let's get into let's go ahead. Fifth brother takes Riva aside when she's confronting all the people in the marketplace. Obi-Wan is there, steps away.
Yeah, him step away. He's in shadows.
Although
he's feet away.
Well, he does come out into the group as well later on. But Riva basically, we continue the tradition of somebody's hand getting cut off.
Yeah.
Space Karen deserved it.
Oh, she absolutely
Space Karen did deserve it.
She absolutely deserved it. That's
is the outer rim. Space Karen gets it.
I think Obi-Wan probably would have done the same thing.
I'd like to speak to your manager.
Yeah.
Okay, here he is. Slice the other hand off.
Which we get a bit of that action in the second episode.
Yeah. So we can see here. Sorry, go ahead, Sephironis.
The cool thing is that back and forth interaction between Owen and Riva, though, it's very much when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object of, I'm not scared of you. You're not? I respect that. I'm going to kill you and your family because I respect you.
Yeah.
It's that chief chaotic evil of, I like that. You still get to die, but I like that.
Yeah. I appreciate your braveness, but now you're going to die. Like I'm very curious. One of the things I am very curious about is where the anger comes from, right? We all know that, you turn to the dark side because you're angry and sad or whatever. What is this grudge that she has against Kenobi?
I think if you are, remember, we are guessing that the young black girl from the opening segment is Riva as well. She probably thought Kenobi will always be here to save us. Yeah. And then she found, and protect us. And at that point, Kenobi was where?
Off planet. He was killing it.
He was fighting Grievous.
Oh, yeah.
And getting blasted.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's interesting about that, though, is like putting some more context into this. How did those younglings get out of the temple? We know that you are not supposed to ever mess with a librarian, and Jocasta knew stayed in and around the temple for a long time,
and she survived Order 66.
Yeah, she did.
And she disarmed the Grand Inquisitor too.
Yeah, yeah, and he is in the comics was better than all of the Inquisitors, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Let's hurry through one so we can talk about 2. He decides that he's going to go off planet because Flea kidnapped Leia.
Yes. So Flea kidnaps Leia.
She has become a red hot kidnapping pepper.
Yes.
Although I will say that whole chase scene for capturing, those are the worst pirates I've ever seen.
Well, but this is the point.
They didn't want to harm her.
This is the point.
But they could get over a log.
I mean,
then again, how many credits does Riva actually have? So she hires a bunch of idiot goons.
Yeah,
it's the Three Stooges of pirates.
It is Star Wars. The Three Stooges. I gotta say, here's one of the things that I was excited about: that green skinned alien. That's a Feline. This is the first time we've seen a Feline that I can think of in live action, and I think that's awesome. Like, we know that they are part of the mini crime syndicates. They're part of the Black Sun, and I think at this moment they might even be part of Crimson Dawn. Or maybe that'll just come later. But like, it was cool to see this. I didn't necessarily dislike the chase scene, but it felt like they were clearly trying to capture her without making a scene. But they're in the woods. So I feel like that was
Okay, and I'm rewatching it right now in
Yeah.
front of me here. She is, she can dodge a wrench and a ball. She's duck,
yeah.
dive, she's
Dip,
dodging
dive.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So she goes under. They won't fit. They have to go over the tree stump.
Yeah. She's going between trees that are small. Like she's pretty agile, right? And remember, she's 10 and she's probably hopped up on sugar and, I don't know, spice probably. It's the one thing that people don't talk about is Leia's spice habit, right? Especially young Leia. That's how she got through all of those late night Senate meetings. But then we get the call. Go ahead.
I figure it's a little bit of Force insight instead, when she's just kind of quietly reading her cousin's mind, like, I figured you out already. You're not a good person. Be a real shame if I aired all your dirty laundry right now, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And that was actually, that's a good point. Like, we are seeing Leia having the Force sensitivity of some kind, whereas Luke, we haven't seen yet, right? We do see a little bit in the comics when he gets the T-16. Like, we see a little bit of his ability to fly and use the Force in that way. But we kind of saw that too, because when Kenobi's watching him on Tatooine, he's able to kind of like sneak around without his aunt and uncle seeing him, right? So that's also something to consider. Like, it's starting to manifest in both younglings here. So,
all right, we're gonna cut mics for just a second on here, and then we're gonna re-enable the app. Okay, there we go.
what are we?
It looks like there's a report on Twitch of the mics having a problem.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
gotcha.
was a. So, all right. So on my side, there were some issues. I've restarted everything. As far as the microphones go. So, all right, let's after she's captured, Bail Organa comes to Obi-Wan Kenobi and says,
Hold on, before we do that, before we get to that,
"Okay."
Bail calls Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's like, "I'm not the guy." And to me, this is just another example of I've disconnected myself from the Force. I'm just a man, and I'm making sure this kid just survives. Right? That's my responsibility, Bail. You have stuff and you have resources. You take care of the girl. You find something else. That was the deal. I took the boy. You take the girl. Right? And I kind of feel like this shows that he's like, I've given up. I really think at this point, Obi-Wan just wants to make sure that Luke has a good life. I know that he says that he wants to train him, but I'm honestly not buying it. So.
But, all right, so he's, Bail calls him. Obi says no. Bail goes in person. Obi says yes.
Yep. And then there's that reluctantly. And then there's the moment at the end where Obi-Wan's at the spaceport and he's like, "Oh, should I go? Should I stay? Should I stay or should I go now?"
But he goes.
But he goes, right?
With his shiny restored lightsaber.
With his he went out, unburied his lightsaber.
Yeah. It does look really well kept for being buried in the stand for 10 years. Right?
Well, that's where you knew that Anakin wouldn't go after it.
That's true.
And he wouldn't be tempted to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Obi wouldn't be tempted to use it. Very true.
When it becomes the extension of your hand, it's hard to not use it. It's kind of drawing back to that Grand Inquisitor inside of Jedi are drawn to do-goodery.
Yeah.
And you can't do some do-goodery if you can't be parting some hands off people.
That's true. I mean, part of being a good person is chopping the hands off of bad people. Now, to the comment that Obi-Wan was going to train Yoda, or train Luke, Grundy in my chat says he never said that he was going to train him because he did know at that time where Yoda was. And so
Very
it's
true.
very possible that he could have just made sure that, he's like, hey, I'm just going to make sure the boy's old enough, and then I'm going to take him to Dagobah, have him train with a real master. That's very possible. I haven't thought about that. So, anyways, episode 2.
Well,
did I miss something?
Rankings. Yeah. How many lightsabers buried in the sand do we give?
On a scale of 5 or 10?
Five.
Out of 5 lightsabers, what do you? How many lightsabers buried in the sand do you give episode 1? I'll start.
Go ahead.
I'm going to give it. Better than your average television show. I rank this against average television shows, not Star Wars shows. This is a 4. Good intro. I wanted a little bit more. I had to try to get used to the characters at the time, but after that, I mean, it's enjoyable and made me excited to go on, and happy that there was going to be a second episode for me to watch that very day.
Amen. Amen. Amen to you. Amen to Darth Jilla's in my chat.
What did he say? You laughed.
So he said, I can't wait for Kathleen Kennedy to be gone.
Oh, jeez.
So
all right, Mike Zero of Swaga.
I gotta say that I'll go there with you. I think it was a 4. It was, so again, looking at it, if it's a 5, right there in the middle is like your average okay show, right? 3 would be good, 4 would be better than good, 5 would be perfect. It's not perfect. There were some things that I think in the moment, having watched it as a standalone episode, that bugged me. Like Riva, I thought she played it over the top. I look forward to learning more about her so that I can say, okay, were her actions, was her behavior justified, right? And if that's the case, it'll probably be higher, right? Like watching it a second time after all is said and done, I think that it might even be close to a 5. But as it stands, a 4, right?
I'm kind of close. I'm a bit of a harsher grader on a lot of things. I think it's 3 lightsabers and a kyber crystal out of 5.
3.5 lightsabers.
Yeah, about 3.5. In that, it's better than average for sure. There are some things that are kind of jarring, especially the first time you watch it. My second watch through, it let me glaze over a couple of immediately jarring and removing moments where it kind of pulled you out of what you were thinking about. Versus the second time kind of smoothed a lot of that over because you were looking for a bit more context. But there are just some parts of it that you just really can't reconcile for perfection. And so definitely 3.5.
Yeah. All right.
So that puts it
there we go.
3.7, 3.985? 3.85?
3.85.
I think. All right. Episode 2.
All right.
The quickening.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yes. The 30-minute version of the first episode.
Yes. So episode 2 starts off on Dayu. We are given a lot of basic information about this planet, how it's not a seemly place. We get this, hey, I can't track the ship. Oh, people like their secrets. Hey, I'm looking for my daughter. Everyone's missing a daughter here. I was someone's daughter. And while I thought it was weird,
Go ahead.
It was weird. I thought it was also perfect. Seth,
what do you got, Seth?
There's a funny Easter egg about that interaction.
Okay,
that's Esther Rose McGregor. That's Ewan's daughter.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that when that scene of you always remember your first time, or it was like you said, the quote with the daughter part, that pained look in Kenobi's eyes is actually the pain of Ewan and his daughter interacting with each other, and he's just like, can't break character.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Ewan probably would. I feel like there was definitely a few moments, I think, in hindsight, that he probably did break character, like bloopers that we'll see come out later. Now,
I hope so.
I would love to see it.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
love to see Star Wars TV show bloopers.
Now, so Solomon Grundy points out this is an important thing. That means that there are 3 generations of his family in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
We get Wedge Antilles, which is Ewan's uncle. We get Ewan and now his daughter. That's awesome. That's cool. And to me, it's a small nod, but Star Wars is family, you know? And I like that they've done that. I like that they've brought that in. I think that's cool. Now, were you expecting to see a clone trooper? Because I was not.
Was that Tamir Morrison as well?
That was Tamir Morrison. I was not expecting that.
I actually kind of loved that the juxtaposition it gives.
Yeah.
And that in Kenobi's heart, you can kind of feel that pain of, you killed all my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to chop quite a few of you to bits. You're wearing 501st colors. That's Anakin's Legion.
Yeah.
That was 501st as well. Could that have been Rex?
No.
I don't think so. But
he had a beard. He had a big beard.
That's true.
I think it could have been one of the other shock troopers that Rex picked up over the years.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, especially by the time we're talking in the Empire, they phased out the clone troopers
pretty quickly, in fact.
And so,
we saw that in Bad Batch.
Yeah, where they scoured Camino. So it makes sense that
Camino, if you could glass water.
Yeah.
if they could, they would.
Yeah. Go ahead, Seth.
I just, you can kind of tell, but it's also that it's a little bit of that echoing theme from the Grand Inquisitor. The Jedi can't help but do good. Mm-hmm. Where if he was trying to be inconspicuous, he would have done nothing.
Yeah.
But it's that inner drilled into his head Jedi code that says, you got to be nice to people.
Yeah.
You extend the open hand, especially to the people who you probably hate the most, given how many of your friends he may have killed on his own.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a really beautiful scene, and it's well put together.
Yeah.
All right, Obi-Wan Kenobi's episode 2 veteran cameo explained. I'm going to read the article I was just sent here, so you guys carry on. I'm going to see what this says.
So while he's looking that up, like this is I do love the interaction between Kenobi and now I know his daughter. That was awesome. But one of the things that I like next is the introduction of the Jedi, right? Seth, let's hear it, man. What are your thoughts?
I knew that somebody at some point was going to do the old shyster routine.
Sure.
I'm a Jedi. I can close the doors.
Yeah.
Look at me. I can lift the rocks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, good God. Yeah. And it's just kind of when you've got the real deal in front of you, you can kind of tell that interaction between the two of them where it's like, oh crap, it's a real one.
Yeah.
His control chip wore off is what it's guessing. Hence why he didn't go after Kenobi.
Well, that or what was the other one? That or once it's been completed, that actually is a comic tie-in.
It never was completed though.
Well,
hence why the Inquisitors.
But it's a fun thing.
And clones only had the chip. They did not put them in the new Stormtroopers. They did not put them in any TKs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the big thing about that is that's a comic tie-in to the Vader comic with the invasion of Mon Cala. Is you actually had an Inquisitor killed by a Jedi mind manipulating the clones to re-execute Order 66. And they actually turned on the Inquisitors on Mon Cala.
What issue was that?
Issue 2 or 3. It was when
Really?
they were on Mon Cala. Yeah, they actually had an Inquisitor killed. Mon Cala.
So yeah, I've skipped ahead a little bit, but
which year Darth Vader, I should say.
This is the one. It's the one with Farron Bar.
It's not the Padme one.
No, it's the first set of comics
Gotcha.
where he has I think it's 10th brother and 9th sister.
Right. I'm pulling those out.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
when they invade Mon Cala.
So let's continue on. Like I'm curious about this. So even though this Jedi shyster is making money off of getting people away, he's still helping people. One of the things that's important to know is that as this mom and son are leaving the planet, it's supposed that the son has the Force, right? He's Force sensitive, right? And it's likely that he is actually helping this family get away. Now he is doing it to make money, obviously, but like part of me feels like that there's going to be a lot more to this character than we know, and we see in a minute here that there is more to this character than just a shyster. He's when Kenobi walks in and pulls his gun, there's a lot of humor and goofiness from his side. But one of the things that is interesting to me is that he's willing to help Kenobi right off the bat. And it's not in order to like make money or to save his own life, right? Because he does deliver him. He does let Kenobi go to where he's supposed to be going, right? To where the girl's being held.
Now, did you catch the name of the child being smuggled?
No.
Corran.
No.
Yes.
That's Han Solo?
No, it's not Han
Corran
Solo.
Horn.
Corran Horn.
What game was that? That was, but he's a big.
He's
a
well
huge EU
beloved
guy.
in the EU. Yes.
Yeah.
He's a. Where does it say his name is? I'm rewatching that scene.
It was in the. It was in the.
The credits.
In the credits.
Oh no way! I'm looking at it now.
By the way, Paul, I sent you the.
I know. I'm pulling it up.
Oh my gosh!
It was credited as just simply Corran.
Oh,
which
my
once
goodness.
again, I mean, we have seen them reuse first names.
Sure.
As nods to the EU.
Yep.
But it could very well.
Well,
the timeline matches up because he's as old as Luke.
Yeah. Well, here's something that's interesting. Filoni in the in one of his interviews at Celebration was talking about how he wants to do justice to the fans. And one of the things that he said was he's like, he specifically mentioned like old canon. And by name, he's like, we've got Timothy Zahn. Or he didn't say Timothy. He said Tib Zahn. And I'm like, man, how cool would it be to be on a first name basis with Timothy Zahn? But like, he's like Tim Zahn, and he's like all these other characters. He's from the old canon. Like he wants to bring in continuity, right? He wants to bring in what was already built that people have love for, and it wouldn't surprise me if that was something that he did, that he brings in Corran Horn, right? Very possible. So, anyways, we're moving forward. We've got Obi-Wan. He infiltrates the spice den. This, I gotta say, this to me, when he shows up and he doesn't sense. Who's that? Is that Saucy Tin?
That was one of the guys executing Order 66.
Oh.
That's the line.
Mhm.
So when he shows up here, one of the things that to me feels like it leads credence to him having cut himself off from the Force. He walks into this cell where he thinks Leia's being held, and it's a pile of rocks or something. It's not, it's not even a person. If he still had the Force, if he was still connected with the Force, I feel like he would have been able to sense that's not her.
But he also got trapped by ray shields.
Yeah, but a ray shield is, it's a, I don't know. I mean, it's not a living thing. A being, a human, or any sentient species, he'd be able to connect with something, right? And so I feel like either he has completely cut himself off, right? Or he feels so far away from it that he can't feel it, So, I don't know. I don't feel like Flea should have gotten the drop on let me phrase that. I don't feel that Flea would have gotten the drop on a Obi-Wan Kenobi who was fully in control of the Force.
Remember he's not practiced it, so
yeah. But I think it's a step further. But
most of the deaths of the Inquisitors at the hands of the rogue clones happened in issue 17.
Okay.
16 was the one where it happened.
Gotcha.
It was the cliffhanger of 16. So I needed to verify that. Or not verify, relive it, if you will, to understand.
Yeah.
Yep, it explains Night Sister's mechanical foot in Fallen Order too.
Yeah. So,
very true.
Riva shows up to the den. Kenobi sneaks off with little Leia. He finds her and then sneaks away from her.
The classic Futurama of just smash it and yell cheese it.
Cheese it! Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Yeah. So I love that Leia, though, is in this little, thing, and she doesn't believe him, and she still thinks. Here's what I love about this Leia and the way that they've written her. She's still young, right? She still expects her daddy to come with an army. She keeps saying that. Where's the army? Where's the army?
And she's a spoiled brat.
And she is a spoiled brat, right? Like, she's still at that age where it's like, everything's important. I'm the most important. I thought that was very realistic. Like, I thought that was so incredibly well played. I thought it was great, right? And then the next scene, you have all the spiced out spice lords getting high on their own product, obviously, and Flea, all Riva kills, and then Riva kills them all. That's just poor.
Riva comes in because of the ineptitude of Flea's goons. Riva kills them, and then the Grand Inquisitor is the one who takes out Flea himself.
Oh, that's true. That's
the old helicopter necktie treatment.
Yeah, we got helicopter saber.
Yeah,
action in this episode.
Just gonna take a whole body off.
Yep. Yeah, Leia just needs to be put in timeout, Solomon. He's like, Leia's got an attitude. He's like, yeah, she just needs a good 5 minutes in timeout to think about what she's done, and then,
And then this is the part where the 10-year-old is running away, and Kenobi is trying to, wrangle her without causing a scene and drawing attention to himself.
Yeah,
and it's actually a great use of dialogue from Filoni from episode 1, in that he explained
Filoni
that smarmy cousin.
With this.
What?
Filoni is saying that he has nothing to do with this.
Oh,
But I mean, isn't he the executive producer?
that Favreau and Filoni were the executive producers for this.
No, it looks like I'm looking at it now. So Deborah Chow is the director, obviously. Writing credits: Joby Harold, Hossein Amini, Stuart Betty, George. Yeah, he doesn't have anything to do with it. Let's see.
He said that at Celebration.
Produced by. Yeah, he's got nothing.
Well, then credit to
Chow, Deborah Chow.
Yeah, but
because it helps build that line of she's never been off world. She's completely sheltered. It's that ivory tower explanation, especially since she's living on Space Aspen.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense as to why she reacts the way she does. It's not a surprise to the audience why her behavior isn't so dissonant with the character we know, because they've already implanted it into your mind from the previous episode as foreshadowing.
Yeah. That's and that's great storytelling. Right, because it's so. Ewan McGregor was one of the executive producers, but it really is I've been very impressed so far with the storytelling that we've seen.
At this point, Riva discovers that it is Kenobi who came to rescue the child and puts out the APB. Everybody, every single bounty hunter, every single scum, every single villainy gets the APB. Here's his picture.
Okay.
Bring him in.
I have a burning question. Okay. Velociraptor bounty hunter. Is this a Trandoshan, but like a different subset of Trandoshan? Or is this a brand new species that we're looking at?
Does it really matter?
A little bit. Yes, it does.
What is doesn't the caption say who that is?
Oh, that's a good point.
Or it may just say like Bounty Hunter 1 or something.
I think it said Bounty Hunter 1, but I might be wrong. So let me bring that up real quick.
Yeah, we all can't be watching the thing, so I'll continue on to explain what's going on here. He basically, is crawling the streets with people that want to sell him death sticks. That's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't believe that it was 24 minutes into the whole thing that okay, there it is. The bounty hunters do catch up to him on the rooftops.
Yes.
And Riva notices the
firefight.
The firefight. Exactly.
Yeah. Now,
Zephyr says he's from the Jurassic Bounty Planet.
Yeah, he's got to be. So here's the thing. Can we all agree that it's about freaking time that parkour has been brought into Star Wars? That was the thing that I loved. I was like, finally, people jumping from rooftop to rooftop, spinning and twirling.
Well, we did that in Star Wars Skywalker Saga Lego.
Well, yeah, but
I actually had a problem with that scene.
Did you?
Yes, it's just she's gonna get you. Nah.
And then she.
She's gonna get you. Nah.
Yeah.
Oh, but she's gonna get you now. So we're just gonna chase her around some boxes and make ourselves feel good about ourselves.
Yep. It was kind of a random scene.
But she was. Are you talking about Riva? Because she was far from it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, what? She's not winded. Come on, like any other person who decides to kick crap down and run over stuff and high jump like they've done nothing else in their lives. It actually breaks the realism a little bit. So like it's just unbelievable.
Fenneck Shand already did parkour in Book of Boba when she was going after the guys up in the top.
Good point.
And she got them.
Oh,
well, she chased around boxes.
So hold on.
No, that's not a transition. That's generic bounty hunter, probably new species. It's okay.
No.
Then Leia
Hold on. It has a species name. He is a Tis Shar bounty hunter. Sentient reptile theropod. Thank you. Who was that? Will Sample. That is a legitimate species of bounty hunters.
And it was in Legends.
Yeah.
So
wow. That's good catch, Will. Sorry, continue.
Fennec wasn't winded, Solomon, but that's mostly because Fennec's actress is immortal.
That's true. That's the non-winded thing doesn't bother me because the Jedi, they do that stuff all the time. And so I would assume that all Force users can heighten speed and strength and agility.
the only time they appeared otherwise was in a comic called Han Solo at Star's End. They also appeared in the book, but depictions of them first were Han Solo at Star's End, a comic adaptation of the book.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. So, all right.
So
go ahead.
The rooftop scene, Leia's like looking back going, okay, well, they're getting close. I better jump. And Obi's right there and she's scared of Obi. So she tries to make a jump and misses it and grabs on to a rope.
Yep.
And she's hanging there for dear life when Obi-Wan decides to try to use the Force. He succeeds in setting her down gently and then rushes down.
Now
there's a droid. Could it have been Forlom?
That's there. Rumor.
That almost captured Leia that Han Solo shot.
I don't know. Like, you mean the droid that's walking around?
There was a bounty hunter droid that saw Leia and was after Leia.
It looked like a Forlom unit.
Yeah, and then Kuman Janali shot it. Not Kenobi. Yeah. My apologies.
Well, you said Han, but
I said Han.
Yeah.
Haja shot him and then handed him the USB stick to turn
on the
cargo
ship. Yeah, the cargo ship that he sent Corrin on.
Yes. Yes. So that's an interesting point. He's not going to be alone on this ship.
And forgive me, Han shot. Those two words are next to each other in my head.
As they should always be. But yeah, this is...
GAC Lab just sent over 27 people over to us while we're talking Kenobi. Welcome as we talk about Kenobi. If you haven't seen the first two episodes, spoiler warning, we're finishing it up because tomorrow in 2 hours and 20 minutes, the new episode is released.
Oh, indeed. Mm-hmm. So we're moving forward. We've got this moment. And again, I've just got to say, this is Kenobi out of practice with the Force. I think this is the first time he's really connected with it in a long time, right? In both of these episodes, he references Qui-Gon. He refers to him, he's like, Master, I need your help, right? I mean, he says it a little differently each time, but like, this is a huge moment for him. And I'm not going to be shocked at all. I mean, I'll be surprised, I'll be excited, I'll be happy. I would not be surprised if we at the very least, hear Qui-Gon's voice. At most, I think it's very possible we could see a Force ghost.
I think we see Liam Neeson in Force Ghost costume.
Yep, same.
I agree.
So,
by the end of this, he will have that reconnection and that solace come to him. I'm thinking in episode 5.
Yeah. Now, I gotta say, best scene here was right before Flea's death or right after Flea's death. I forget his freaking name. Not Han, not Nari.
Haja,
thank you. Haja, as he's giving him the stick, just walks by, shoots Forlom, and just walks off. But it's the moment where he encounters the Inquisitor. Mm-hmm. And that humor, like, He's like that bravado. I love it. I just thought it was wonderful.
I'm the Jedi you're looking for.
You finally found me. Who gave me? It was fun. It was a really fun moment.
Yeah, then she puts him down, doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
Does not kill him, puts him down and says, "You're no Jedi," and then uses the Force to figure out where Kenobi is,
Yeah.
Doing the thing that Kylo Ren could not. It just goes, thank you for this information, and that's what I wanted. Have a great life.
Yep. Now, go ahead, Paul.
Ray Rock, who got to hang in the plaza? That was Nari, who was hanging in the plaza in episode 1.
I'm surprised he wasn't in as many bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Inquisitors aren't exactly known for being clean killers.
Yeah. So let's jump towards the end as they're about to board the new freighter.
She catches up with Obi-Wan on the freighter dock.
Yep.
And they essentially, he's hiding, she's trying to find him.
Yep.
And just as she's about to find him, here comes the Grand Inquisitor.
Yep.
And once again, spoiler alert, I'm giving you to the count of 5.
Hold on.
4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we can talk freely. We've given people ample spoiler warning.
Before the Grand Inquisitor, she's doing her evil monologue, and this is where she says, "Lord Vader will be pleased. He's been looking for you." And she says, Anakin Skywalker is alive.
Yeah,
now,
she knows.
She knows. It was, let's see, let me figure out who it was. Someone in my chat pointed out earlier, and I want to make notice of it, but she knows too much, right? There's no way that she should know that Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker.
There's basically 6 people alive who do within the Empire.
Yeah.
Now 7.
Seven. So there's Thrawn, Palpatine,
Tarkin,
Vader
had
himself,
him hunt him.
Right?
The Grand Inquisitor knows because he knew him from the archives.
Yeah.
Correct.
Riva.
And
did I say
wasn't
Thrawn?
it Yularen?
Yularen, I think, knows.
I think Yularen suspects. I don't think he knows. But I might be wrong. I haven't read all the comics, and I'm definitely not up to date with comics. So
and Palpatine.
Yeah, we mentioned Palpatine.
Oh, we kind of twice.
So and here's the thing. Outside of that, anyone who finds out is just brutally murdered. It is very realistic that no one knows that she knows.
And
right?
does Obi-Wan know at that point too?
He didn't. This is a shock to him. You see it in her face, and she even says, "You didn't know." Because at that point, she senses him, right? He's you see that look on his face, just sheer shock. There's no way. I thought he was dead, right? Now, imagine all of the things going through his mind. Dark Gillis says it was him who pointed this out. All of the things going through his mind. He's not dead. Can he be saved? I've heard all of these probable rumors about Darth Vader, right? Are they true? It sounds like it. Oh my gosh, right? This is powerful. This is an amazing moment, right? I don't even think on Mustafar he's introduced himself as Lord Vader, right? Newt Gunray knows he does, but
it's a small plot hole because he does know it because of the video scene they watch where Anakin pledges himself to Palpatine.
Oh, okay.
So he does know Vader's name, but it might be just a very small plot hole.
But you're
not
right.
Know
he's
never
alive.
Declares
that is very
as
true,
Lord
Seth.
Vader to him on Mustafar. It's a tiny, tiny hole.
Yeah.
But it could be an explanation.
That's a good point. But like, this is
especially because most of the galaxy, and we've seen that from how people reacted to him, is they just thought he just showed up as an enforcer.
Yeah.
Versus, oh crap, that's Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Famulus de Populi did not know that in Thrawn Alliances, Thrawn discovers Skywalker is Vader.
He puts it together. I think Thrawn knew the whole time.
I loved, when it finally does it. And this really isn't a spoiler because you piece it together yourself. But when Thrawn figures it out, Anakin panics and goes, he knows, in his brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
In capital letters, he knows.
Yeah. Yeah, the Thrawn books are amazing. If you haven't read them, check in the links on the Going Nerdy subscription page. I do get benefits from it. Audible,
and I've also posted it in Tepsi.
One free subscription. I'm telling you guys, and it's so good. It's so good. Plus, especially, it's going to be required reading as soon as Ahsoka comes back out. But then right before Riva's about to make the attack, he shows up. Grand Inquisitor shows up. He's like, this is my kill. I'm going to do the thing. And you've let him go. You're too bad. And then Riva plunges her blade through him.
No one's ever really gone.
Yeah.
We know how the Grand Inquisitor dies. It's like, okay, what was the shock value for that?
Yeah.
We know that Kanan Jarrus disabers him, and he decides to kill himself versus face Lord Vader.
Yeah.
But what happens here.
We know that he doesn't die. Okay,
Yeah.
But it still is a shock value because were you expecting her to do that?
Oh, no.
Were you expecting an underling to skewer the Grand Inquisitor there?
If you think about the dark side and its principles, absolutely. Chief selfishness and murder hoboing your way through the galaxy.
I believe that you expected that as much as, as much as
her character, at least. That doesn't surprise me that she did that, but I guess I'm surprised that she actually had the balls to do it.
Yeah.
'Tis but a flesh wound.
Indeed.
Then again, she's walking around handing space Karens. I mean, she's choosing violence the entire time.
Yeah.
So it's not really out of character for her to continue to choose violence.
If you really truly expected that, I will eat this chapstick. I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna eat the chapstick.
Yeah, there's a lot of so I was reacting to Darth Gillis, who said, but that's something else, Darth Gillis. The Wookiee in the Bad Batch trailer. Bah! That's a video for a different time.
That's when we finally get to Bad Batch season 2 with Neil. Because we're actually waiting for that to come back out, and Neil will join us for a cartoon.
Indeed. Yes, for the cartoon. So they make their escape, right? She screams as the trailer comes off, and then as Kenobi sits there on the transport, and he's like breathing heavily, Leia's like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And then cut scene to Vader in the tank, mask hissing that iconic sound, and his eyes just dark. Just
You love seeing Hayden Christensen naked. I understand that.
Do you not blame? Like, if I had a body like him at his age, which he's just a little older than I am, man, I'd be walking around naked too. Swimming in a bacta tank just with a mask.
With a mask.
Yeah. Now, obviously, he's alive. If they cut him down, and if they cut that moment out of this will be a huge problem continuity wise. He's got to be alive. The Inquisitor. I mean,
we know he's alive.
We know he's alive. They can't have multiple Inquisitors unless clones.
Unless there's once one Grand Inquisitor falls, they create a new Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, I mean, he's the Dread Pirate Grand Inquisitor. Like
As you wish.
as you wish.
As you wish.
Now, granted, they have spent some time on Tatooine. Maybe the Grand Inquisitors got some mechanical guts. I don't know.
That was another thing. He got stabbed in the same place that Fennec was shot.
Yeah. So it's very possible that he's just gonna have guts that are metal. So
Well, and that's not out of the ordinary for the Inquisitors. I mean,
no, yeah.
think about how many times did Vader chop a limb off for insubordination.
Yeah.
That is very true.
He literally did it. Yeah.
Along with the robot leg for Second Sister.
Yeah.
And the robot
or not Second Sister.
hand for the
Yes.
Ninth Sister.
Yeah.
He taught her to know loss.
She-Hulk. Whoever She-Hulk was. Eighth Sister?
I'm
just guessing numbers right now.
No, that's the other sad part is like we know how most of these Inquisitors die except for Riva.
Yeah.
So it's like, yep, nope. Well, congratulations, you have plot armor. You're not getting killed today.
Yeah. That's
you
true.
have a date with Darth Maul.
Yeah. Oh, Darth.
When you
Prime
get
Force
brutally
says
ripped
42nd
to
Sister.
42nd Sister.
42nd Sister, what are you doing? Yeah. Man. Well, anyways.
All right. How many lightsabers buried in the Tatooine sand do we give episode 2? Because it's honestly 6 minutes to midnight in Central Time.
Indeed. I'll start us off. I'm gonna say this is a 4.5, 4.5 for me. It's not perfect, but it is damn near close.
Seth?
I'm gonna give it a 4. I think the parkour scene is what knocks off the 0.5. it just breaks the immersion in a really bad way for me.
Okay.
It's almost like you're almost complaining exactly like when I was talking about how during Mando season 1 when he's riding the speeder just looks like this.
Hey, it's Hondo. Awesome.
Hey, people wonder if I actually do like Hondo. There's your answer.
Mine's back on my shelf. So
Paul, mine. I'm gonna offset your 4, and I'm gonna give it a 4.75. So it all goes down to 4.5 there. Only because I want to earn back the quarter of a star for Sephiroth's disbelief of parkour. And the only thing that I guess was a down to me was, is there possibly retcon happening?
I hope not.
I hope not as well.
I really do. Now, I could say my only thing is we know that they are trying to clone at this time.
Famulus de Populi says, Leia annoyed me a tad bit and the parkour flips were deeply unnecessary. Also, that one droid just stopped shooting at Kenobi when he was catching Leia with the Force. So
he couldn't get his arms up.
Leia is meant to be the annoying kid.
Yeah.
Because it matches what Fisher would have done.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he brings carries that chaotic energy to the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, Nerdy, what you got there?
So I honestly I'm excited to see where this goes. I really am.
Any predictions?
I think that like I said, I think we're going to see Qui-Gon at the very least here. Qui-Gon, he's taken man who his name is escaping me.
You don't have a specific set of skills.
I don't have a specific.
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Remembering names is not one of my specific set of skills. He's been very cagey about like his connection to Star Wars right now, and so
I was sent an article that he is in it. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I trust the person that sent it, but do I trust the source? We'll find out.
Yeah. I do think that we'll see more clones. Maybe just as a one-off, kind of like we saw in this one. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw more of them But I don't think that'll be necessary. We're definitely going to see
It's
more.
not necessary.
We're definitely going to see more of this fake Jedi and what he's doing and where he's sending people. So I wouldn't be shocked as well to see more of this Corran character. And obviously we got to get a deeper dive of Riva. We're going to figure out who she is, where she's from, and what's going on. So,
and why she has this vendetta.
Yeah, indeed.
Seth, what do you think? Anything you're predicting?
I got two things. I think we're in for a Rocky style montage of Kenobi getting himself mentally back into shape, so that because we
punching
have
tauntaun meat.
I mean, I would gift a sub if he's punching tauntaun meat. The other thing that I'm wondering if we don't see a cameo of is Ahsoka.
No, too young.
Well, the reason being, she has former Inquisitor lightsaber crystals that she purified, and we can account.
Ooh, could they be
for
Rivas?
most of the Inquisitors' deaths / sabers.
Yeah,
but not hers.
Yeah, could it be Riva's?
She kill Riva?
Yeah,
and actually take her crystals.
We get a description of the character, the sabers, in Ahsoka. We get a description of that.
There you
Inquisitor.
Go. There's some required reading for you next week. Thaddeus, what do you have coming up on your channel?
Because I have the summer off, I'm going to be putting together some more content. Obviously, I'll be doing my GAC tomorrow. I won't be streaming as long as we stream tonight. But I've got some other things that I'm going to be working on as well that will make my channel. Will rebrand, not rebrand, but revitalize my channel. I hope so.
We'll be there to help.
Yeah, I appreciate
Don't worry.
that.
And thank you to Run DMV for cheering 45 bits. Sephiranus, are you going to be streaming on your channel? You're getting back into it.
Yeah, I might do a little bit of work over on my channel.
And what is your channel? Since it's neither Going Nerdy's YouTube or the Escape Podcast Twitch channel. So
it's twitch.tv/Sephiranus. I just posted it also in the chat for everybody. I mostly do Galaxy of Heroes. I forgot to join GAC this week, so
I can't wait to roast you on Patreon leaderboard.
It's okay. You're gonna get to roast me for this last week too. I went 0-3.
Yeah, I went 0-3 too, so don't worry.
Yeah.
This week I have the advantage. Yeah, Thad, we gotta quit doing this. We gotta meet in the middle so it actually happens finally.
Yep.
I might actually do some League of Legends recording.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
So, still kind of quietly testing my flight simulator off ground, but we're getting better. I actually have to learn how to fly a simulator plane before I dare put it on stream.
All right. Well, so you're seeing what's coming up tomorrow. Neil may play some Runes of Magic. Thursday night is Thursday during the day. He'll probably do some Grand Arena. Thursday night is GA Center. Friday night's the podcast. Our special guest this coming Friday is the return of Black Mamba.
Ooh.
We're going to be talking to him about coming back the year he took off of streaming, but not playing. So we'll catch back up with him. And then over on Vault 37 Studios, hopefully there'll be some Kirby action. We've beat the game, we thought, just a few nights ago, but there's much more to do that we found out. So we're going to be continuing on that probably. And maybe even some riff tracks to the game.
Nice.
So.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing that. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul, do you want to take us out?
I would love to. Remember, everybody, be nice to each other, damn it. And remember to smile.
And stay nerdy. Thank you for joining us, guys.